Hi everyone, it's Magagumo, lifetime nerd, full-time partner, parent, programmer, and gamer. So today we're going to check out one of the many demos available on the Steam Next Fest. This one's called Breachway. I don't know a lot about it, obviously very early on in its development, but it was recommended to me, and given that I enjoyed games like FTL, Cobalt Core, deck builders, love me space, resource management and combat, seems like a good one to check out. Alright, we will have the prologue run as well, see how this goes. We're getting a not responding, a little bit of a blue wheel. Hopefully that'll pass in a moment here. It's thinking very hard. Oh, there we go. A sudden jolt awakens you as you hear the distinct beeping of doors opening. As reality creeps back in, you slowly recognize your surroundings, the cramped confines of your quarters on the Atlas. Lena Starling. Hey, wake up. The captain wants to see us on the command deck. He seems pretty agitated, and you look groggy as hell, so just let me do the talking. Okay, head over to the command deck. There's an unusual flurry of activity as you enter the command deck. The captain, studying the data feed on one of the consoles, beckons the two of you over. Captain Quinn, our infrared sensors detected a large explosion in Solari space, right where one of their research stations is located. Whatever they were up to, looks like it didn't go as planned. Lena Starling. So this might be our big break then. A chance to turn the scavenging mission around and not go home empty-handed. Could well be. We're closer to the station than any of the Solari fleets in the system. We can't risk approaching with the Atlas, however, as it would be picked up by the fleet scanners, and we'd be done for. A small ship like the Magpie, though, launched at our current speed, could get there undetected. It'll run on minimal reactor capacity, using only maneuvering thrusters for flight path adjustments. With all due respect, sir, the fireworks will likely attract other scavengers by the time we get there. Which is why the lieutenant here is tasked with protecting the Magpie in case things go south. I'll assemble a team while you make the necessary preparations. Report to the docking bay in 30 minutes. Prepare to head out. Alright, ship selection. This is the ship status screen. You can view statistics, numbers and types of hard points, starting equipment and crew. Each piece of equipment contains a few starting cards and has capacity to add more cards as you play. Equipment requires an assigned crew member to function. Okay, so a little bit like Cobalt Core, different pieces are different in that one. Crew members have the cards. The assigned crew member to function reminds me a little bit more of FTL, where you're kind of running people around to the different parts. If you want a better look at your ship, you can orbit the camera while keeping the left mouse button pressed and use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out. Once you're done, click on the accept button to proceed. Okay, kind of an interesting graphic style. It's a little, I would call it cell shaded. It's kind of spiffy. Good. I like the color. I like the pop of the camera up there, or the cannon, excuse me. Okay, so we have a laser cutter weapon mount. I guess that's the thing at the top. I'm not sure what this stuff here exactly means, but it looks like there's some cards called Slice. We have a launch bay, AI. It doesn't do anything. It looks like there's XP gain too. Okay, that's sort of like FTL. We've got some energy, 50 out, 50, 100. Not sure what all this means. Some block abilities from the shield generator. Engineering has a targeting lock. Doesn't look like I can really click or move stuff, so we're just going to accept. So it says a compact vessel equipped with an industrial laser cutter and a set of robotic arms, perfectly suited for scavenging missions. Okay, so not a combat ship. Okay, alright. Kind of a top-down visual. Alright, so Tristan Singh. Alright, if we just follow the nav points I laid out, we should be at the wreckage in about 2 days, and then we rendezvous back with the Atlas. We just stick to the asteroid belt as much as we can to avoid detection. Easy. I really don't see why the captain decided to put you in charge of my ship. Rude. Watch your tone. While we're on this mission, this is your new captain. Come on now, we got a mission to do. You can fight all you want once we're back on the hauler. It's Ivan Branco. Soon things settle down and everyone is at their assigned post. Time to start familiarizing yourself with the ship's command console. Okay. Alright, so it says station wreckage neutral, unknown, waypoint neutral, unknown. Alright, so there's a lot of these. That's an interesting map. Okay, ship status, not really telling us much more. We got a cargo bay with nothing in it. And again, doesn't seem like it can do much interface. Okay, so, doesn't look like I can do much there. Maybe if we click this. Okay, there we go. Wow. Your console flashes a warning indicating combat near your flight path. Not long after, the infrared sensors flare as a ship explodes. The remaining ship changes course, heading in your direction. Ivan, there's no way their sensor spotted us. We've been running cold for almost a day now. Just our luck then. Their flight path will take them right within radar detection range. Prepare combat protocols. Okay. Let's see. So kind of like that FTL or core map, you know, that kind of spread yourselves out. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so this is your hand of cards, displaying the actions you can take each turn. Each card requires resources to play. Shows the number in the lower part of the card. All right, spend energy, use cards. Makes sense so far. This is your resource panel. The colored number next to the icon indicates your current energy. The white number shows your energy income at the start of next turn. Ooh, resources carry over between turns, so that's different, right? Because it's not just a use it or lose it, you know, 3 energy style like Slay the Spire or Cobalt Collar. There's some build up, so that's different. Enemy actions are based on their equipment. Each piece of equipment has a card slot indicating the next action. Cards gain 1 pip each turn. When all pips are full, the card's border turns white, signaling that we play on the next turn. Okay, so we still have enemy intentions, as you would kind of expect for this style of game, but there's a little bit more of a future prediction because now they're kind of filling up. That also means potentially that as opposed to like an attack defense kind of mix up, you can almost think of it like waveforms, right? Things could line up in weird ways as the combat goes longer, where something that's a 2-turn recharge and a 3-turn recharge, first they're consecutive and then they can line up in both fire, say on turn 6. So that's kind of interesting. That creates a different rhythm to the game. All right, see how that plays out. You can play cards by dragging and dropping them over the crosshair region. Attack the enemy by playing 2 slice cards to advance. Okay. So let's take a quick look. So the Vulture, as the enemy's called, has 18 hull. That's this square, and it looks like they're 2 parts. They're not named, but one has 10 and one has 8. The 10 has a laser pulse. Looks like it's going to be able to deal 4 damage, and has something called precision. Okay, and then it has a shield pulse, and it adds 4 shield points, and then it goes away. Also to note, looks like so shield points are similar to what you think of as defense in other games, but instead of just being you throw up the defense and then it's gone, it gets halved at the start of each turn. So it's a little bit, again, for those of you who've played Slay the Spire or Cobalt Collar, Cobalt Core shield points kind of carried over from turn to turn, but they had a maximum, and Slay the Spire, unless you had certain abilities, your defense, it would disappear at the end of the turn. Okay, so some differences here. Alright, keeping this going, looks like we have 6 energy. We're going to get 4 next turn. They want us to use 2 slices, which will use a ball of energy, and we wouldn't be able to do that again next turn since we won't have 6. Slice, deal 4 damage. The end. Okay, so we grab it, and it looks like we just drop it right on there because we're not really aiming. Okay, spiffy little slice through. So it dealt 1, and 1. My math is failing here. That's okay. Yeah, it's interesting because it shows 14 in the top corner, which makes sense, right? Because we got 14 points of damage, or 4 points of damage out of 18. But the individual equipment pieces, it looks like they only took 1 each. So that's kind of interesting. There's something different. There's some different math there. I'm assuming that's correct, but somehow it plays out differently. And you see again, it only kind of depleted it by 1 each. Okay, I'm sorry, and I'm blocking the end turn button. There we go. Okay, so defense. Shields are your primary defense with each shield point blocking 1 damage. Shields halved at the start of each turn, so deploy shield cards just before an enemy attack for maximum effectiveness. So far, so good. The enemy is about to attack. Play a block card to prevent hull damage from the enemy's upcoming attack. I like the presentation of this. It's kind of fun. Okay, so they're about to play a laser pulse for 4 damage. Maybe this precision has to do with why we didn't hit their equipment as hard. Alright, so they want us to use block. So we grab the block. It's using 2 of our 4 energy. We put it on ourselves for 4 shield. Okay. After playing a card, it moves to your cooldown pile. Cooldown duration is indicated by the number next to the, looks like a time spiral icon on the card. Once off cooldown, it returns to your draw pile. Press the tab key or click the card status UI for an overview of cards in your draw pile in your hand or on cooldown. Okay, so instead of just dumping into a discard pile and then that immediately just becomes your draw pile when when you're out of draw, some cards could actually end up being held out for a while. So it's sort of a depletion status, but on a timer. I like that. I mean, I have to see how it plays out, but that's kind of a cool way to do it. So you see, if we look, 2 of our slices won't be around for a little while, and same thing with that block. So we're not going to have a lot of attack options next turn. It looks like we only draw 3 cards, so we're going to get some combination of these. And I guess that's our turn because there's some, it looks like they're not letting us play target lock. Okay, so we're kind of forced on this, being the prologue. They want us to play in a certain way. All right, so it shot 4, and we had 4 shield, and went kind of by, but you can see it disappeared. Persistent effects. Persistent effects on your ship appear above your card hand. Some effects last for a set number of turns, while others have an upkeep condition you have to meet each turn to maintain effect. That's kind of cool. Okay, so it looks like they're giving us the option to play both. The enemy is going to do a shield pulse. I'm unclear if that's going to be before or after we attack, so we'll have to see how it plays out. Oh, I see. You can kind of hover, and there's that little piece there they used, and I'm sure. Oh, yep, and there's the shield one. That's cool. Okay, so target lock. We use this, and it takes 2 energy, and it's going to give us a +1 to all of our damage, but we have to attack each turn in order to keep it going. So we target lock on them. Okay, cool. So you see the little target locks in effect. So now when we slice, you see instead of doing 4, it now says deal 5 damage. Cool. Now I know they've got a shield pulse, so I'm guessing that'll block 4 points of this. So let's see. No. Interesting. Okay, so something to note. The enemy's shield, just like we threw up the shields and then they shot, when we shot, they didn't throw their shield up. That's going to actually affect us next turn, it looks like. And we're only going to draw, I don't know if we're going to draw these slices. All right, we'll keep it moving. Okay, so shield goes up. It said deplete, but it looks like they're going to be able to do it again. Okay, so this turn, they have shields up. And they're going to absorb 4 damage. You can see their shield there. And we're going to get shot. So we're supposed to use a block so that we don't take any damage from the shot. We use slice. This will penetrate for 1 damage. I'll be curious if that affects their equipment at all. And we'll maintain our targeting lock.
Enemy shields down.
Enemy shields down, okay. Note though, they took a point of damage, but their equipment did not. So I'm guessing you have to do a certain amount of damage before you can actually affect their equipment. Alright, we'll end turn. And it doesn't look like we have that restriction. See, what I said about lining up, right? So that in 2 turns, both of these are going to be true. Alright, so there's no point in doing a block because they're not going to shoot. So we're just going to slice and keep up that targeting lock. And of course they die. We got 25, I'm going to call those coins. Okay, kind of that sort of set symbol to them. Okay, Ivan Bronco. The area is starting to get pretty lively. We should expect more combat on our approach to the station. Looks like we're not the only ones stupid enough to raid a Solari facility. Too late to hide our presence now. Asking for permission to restore the reactor's ordnance protocol. That should allow us to squeeze some more power out of it. It will also improve our laser's photon output. Okay, permission granted. Override safety protocols. We need more firepower. So that did something. Aye, Captain, that should enable it to emit concentrated laser pulses. Won't be a military-grade laser, but it'll be close. Okay, so we now have access to the ordnance resource. Ordnance is the main resource for attacks. Open your ship status screen now to inspect your resource area. Okay. Oh, interesting. We have one unallocated reactor power. Left click on the ordnance resource to add your extra reactor power. Okay, so deck builder, but now we're getting into reactor power. So for those of you who played FTL, right, there's a lot of that control of your reactor has so much output, and you're like, oh, I want it in shields or weapons or the engine. So similar here, but I've never seen them sort of used together. Okay, so I just put a click in. Again, that was our only reactor power. You can redistribute reactor power between your resources at any time. Right click on energy twice to remove 2 power from it. Left click twice to add the 2 power to ordnance. Okay, so we're downgrading some of our energy, but if I've heard this correctly, those only get used on shields and targeting locks, and I think I remember the shields only use 2 energy to fire. Now we're going to put 2 energy in ordnance, which, if I'm correct, the laser pulses use 3 of that. Okay, so we closed it. All right, that's all they kind of, yeah, okay, oh, interesting, yeah. So now if you look, the modified cutter, its laser pulses use 3 orange, so that would be the ordnance resource. And then now we have 2 cards called beam sweep, ooh, which takes 3 ordnance and 2 power, and it has an ignite effect. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Everything else seems the same. And notice again, like I said, targeting lock is just 2 energy, or 2 energy. So you can use one of these and a shot in the same turn is sort of what they're indicating here. Cool. All right, we'll keep going. We've got a ship closing in on an attack vector. Looks like pirates. All right, straight to combat. So now they gave us energy. Now we're gonna learn about energy and ordnance. Ooh, that's a fun-looking ship. Okay, so you can redistribute reactor power anytime in combat. Right click on the resource type to remove 1 power unit, left click to add. This lets you shift your resource income to suit your needs. Adding 1 power to a resource generates heat. Heat changes take place after playing the next card. Interesting. So if you've got a bad, quote unquote, a bad hand, you can mess around with what you need, but you're accruing a penalty called heat, which obviously does something bad, I'm assuming damage, as sort of a punishment for messing with the numbers. Here we go. Ships have a heat resistance and dissipation value. Resistance is the amount of heat a ship can successfully sustain before overheating. Dissipation is the amount of heat removed at the end of each turn. Every point of overheat does 1 hull damage to start your turn. So similar to how Cobalt Core used heat for one of its characters, but tied into the main functions. Very interesting. Okay, so it looks like this turn there's going to be a laser pulse, and in 2 turns there's a shield pulse. All right, so if I look at my numbers, I got 5 and 4, so I can choose to target lock. But I think the beam sweep's going to be more fun. I want to see that, but I definitely want to block since we got 4 damage coming at us. I don't want to deal with that. This ship's a lot tankier with 25 damage. All right, so we're going to try this beam sweep and see what it does. Ooh, fun. All right, so we did the beam sweep. It looks like we did 2 hull damage. I guess 2 points went to the devices and 2 went to the hull, and that's how they calculate that. But see, now the pirate ship is at 2 heat. But it's going to lose 1 a turn. Alright, so we're out of things we can do because we're not going to play the target lock. Alright, let's see if I read this correctly. Yep, so there's that laser that we expected. Ooh. Alright, so... oh, interesting. Cards with the little symbol here, I don't know what to call that. It's almost like a targeting symbol. Are precision attacks that can target specific enemy equipment. Drag and drop these cards over an enemy equipment or card in the UI or a piece of the ship model to attack it. Oh, interesting. Each enemy piece of equipment has durability. Yeah, we were talking about that, indicated by the shield icon. When it hits 0, the equipment breaks, preventing any actions, but it's repaired in 3 turns. The durability damage from precision cards is indicated by the X. Okay. Interesting. You can right-click to discard unwanted cards, freeing up a slot for a new draw next turn. Discarded cards go on cooldown just as being played. Consider discarding cards that are not useful in the next few turns. That's very interesting. Okay. So I didn't pick up on that before, but you're not drawing a whole new hand, you're drawing to refill. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so basically what they're kind of showing us, though, is this heavy blast for 10 damage is going to just wreck us. There's no way. We couldn't even pull up. We'd have to pull 3 shields, and we couldn't even do it because we're just not going to get the power. So we have to really go in on taking down that cannon before it wrecks us. A very FTL thing, right? You can target enemy weapon systems to kind of keep them from blowing you apart while you then build up time to take their shields out when their weapons are down. Alright, so I'm going to not discard because I kind of want to attack next turn, so I want to hold on to this. We're going to do target lock because +1 damage makes sense and it uses our resources well because we're not getting attacked for a little while. And then we are going to go right for that. Oh, and it says 5. Okay, so 5 damage straight to it. Now the question is, will it damage the ship? It does. Okay, so they still take 5 damage, but we also dealt 5 damage to their cannon. Notice the way it's set up with 8, maybe we were just supposed to do 2 laser pulses over 2 turns, but I like the targeting lock. Alright, that's it for our turn. I'm going to hold on to my weapon. Alright, so they're going to do a shield next turn. Alright, they really want me to discard. I see. So now that makes sense, because if we're going to take out the heavy blast, so first, make sure it's gone. Okay, so we hit them for 5, and we just took out their cannon for 3 turns, which means the blocks are meaningless. So now we chuck the blocks because we don't want them, they don't help us. So we end the turn. Alright, so they put up a shield for 4, so we're going to have to punch through that. Alright, there we go. So if I were to downgrade this and upgrade this, okay. Oh, that doesn't help me this turn though, does it? Ooh, bummer. Okay. But we know another shot's coming. Okay, so right now we can spend some energy to whack on him. So let's start with that. I definitely want to use the beast sweep just to kind of keep this rolling. Okay, so notice next turn we will be able to do a laser pulse, but we have another laser pulse being drawn, which means we want 1 more energy. So we're going to downgrade this because we don't need the block this turn. In fact, we could discard that block to guarantee, since we got another one coming. Let's just throw that away. I think that's what they want us to do. We're going to end the turn. So we attacked. We kept the lock up. So notice the blast and the shield are both came up. So here we go. Now we can laser beam sweep. So I'm overkilling this, right? Like, I'm overthinking it. We didn't need to do 2 different blasts. But they are, it's fun to do. Okay, combat rewards. Click on the flashing subsystem to add it to your cargo bay. Okay. And infrared emitter. Any attack from this weapon that deals hull damage adds heat. Cool. Alright, so we put that in our bay. So the question is, how do we use that? Captain, we should hook up the mass refiner module to the reactor. It's crucial for improving our reactor's power output and strengthening the Magpie shield system. It was originally meant for deflecting dust and minor asteroids, not high-powered lasers. I can modify it to suspend high-density particles in its magnetic field, diffusing laser beams and absorbing kinetic force. This improves defense, but requires mass. Okay. We also salvaged a functional subsystem from that ship. I'm sure we can put it to good use. Might help us get out of this in one piece. I'll be claiming that as reparations for my ship when we're back on the Atlas. The Magpie will need a new coat of paint when all of this is over. Alright, so you can upgrade your reactor with credits you gather in Journey. Again, FTL, build up scrap, make upgrades so you can survive. Alright, to upgrade your reactor, open the screen. Okay, so we upgrade it. Click on the upgrade button below the reactor icon. Okay, so we have to spend 150 to upgrade. Makes sense. Okay, we now have access to the mass resource, used for upgrades and repairs. And we're going to put 1 into there. So we're making a mass each turn. Got it. Subsystems enhance compatible equipment and their cards with various effects. Drag and drop the subsystem from the cargo bay on your modified cutter for application. Only 1 subsystem of the same type can be added. Okay, so it says 75. I don't know what that means. Okay, but we put it on. Can we take it off? If I click... unclear. Alright, anyway, we'll say done. Alright, just for fiddly. Doesn't look like it. Looks like once I put it in, that's it. Okay, so there's a bit of a commit, but it's adding a lot of heat generation. Okay. And this might be like a station wreckage. Okay, the remains of the station are in view. Things seem quiet, but the tension in the crew is palpable. Judging by the infrared emissions, there should be some functional equipment we can salvage in that section over there. Alright, so combat training. Okay, so I guess this guy has combat training, so there's something, it like triggers one of the responses we can use maybe? Wait, look at the fluctuation in those readings. I'll bet you a week's rations that there's a ship lying in wait to spring an ambush. Prep the laser, and let's go around and jump him instead. So we could just do this, but it looks like because we have this guy, we get this option to get an advantage in a fight. I guess if we didn't pick that, we would just be in a straight fight. Oh, okay. Crew members have abilities you can activate at will during combat. To inspect crew abilities, hover over crew member's portrait. Wow, alright, there's a lot going on here. I mean, how it interfaces and plays nicely controls whether or not this is a good game or not, but like, I'm very impressed with the range of sort of, the fiddliness is impressive, right? Up and down on resources, but trade-offs on heat, command points, there's a lot going on here. I'm intrigued. Okay, so we have mass buildup. Alright, so ambush. And now this is infrared emitter. Okay, this is just telling us what we've got. So they mentioned crew stuff, but I didn't really see a way to do anything with that. So I'm going to guess that we're kind of... Oh, there we go. Face is in the way. Alright, so we have command points here. So if I click here... Wow, I am really in the way. We're going to go all the way up there. Okay. So I get in here. I spend 4 command points, and I get 2 of every resource. Okay, useful when you don't have enough cards in hand. Overload cannons, pay 5 command. Next attack deals 50 plus damage. Okay, fun. AI doesn't do anything. Tune generator. Next shield card played this turn gains 50% shield points, and that is only 1 command point and can be done every turn. That's interesting. Okay. Cool. Alright, let's look what we got. We got a laser pulse coming now. It's hard to tell if those are fill or not. Let's go with yes. So you're going to deal 4 damage and then deal 4 damage in 1 turn. Okay. We can block for 6 shield points. The block for 6 shield points, we could overtune it to get 9 shield points. We'd lose 4 of that. We'd be left with 5, and I'm going to assume it rounds down to 2. I don't know that that's that helpful. We know our first attack does a lot of damage. We could also laser pulse. We could overcharge to laser pulse for like, I'm going to say 13, which seems kind of crazy. So there's just a lot you can do. Alright, we're going to try this. We're going to overload the cannon. We're going to beam sweep for 13.
Enemy shields down.
Alright, which punish them with some heat. And we're gonna throw a block. Looks like it also tuned the generator out. There's a lot. Okay, so that may or may not have been the right play, but we're gonna try it. Alright, so they shoot. And we absorb. And they fire a missile. Incoming enemy missile. You can track missiles in the lower part of the screen above your hull points. Missiles have a delay of 1 or more turns before they hit. You can defend against missiles by playing shield cards or shooting them down with special missile defense cards. Cool. Oh man, they're gonna shoot us again. Okay, so we have, let's figure out what we got here. Is that a shield? Yeah, okay, so I have 1 shield. So we have 8 damage coming at us. So this could be a time where I could use the tune generator. Looks like it's hard to say I can take it back and get this. So this is just gonna blade everything. Boom, no damage. I don't think we use... Oh, we are using mass in our shields. I didn't catch that before. Interesting. Okay, so that bumped up because I think the shields used to be 4, but now they're 6. But if we don't keep... Now, we do have enough mass. If we're only blocking 1 per turn, I kind of feel like... What are we drawing next turn? Target lock. Bunch of attacks. Yeah, I feel like I actually want to try to push for damage. Alright, we've got this laser pulse. Let's start taking out this dude's weapon, because that's gonna hurt. Alright, so we dissipated the heat we made. They're gonna shoot us again. They're gonna shoot a missile. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Alright, can we take that? We can take the cannon. We cannot take the cannon out. Okay. Well, maybe. Maybe. But if I take out if I use the beam sweep, I can guarantee we can't block. Interesting. And we can't use that command. Okay. So the safe plan here is just to block and laser pulse and set it up to take it out next turn. I think I like that because for the moment we're not in dire straits, and we're really close to frying that out. So let's do that. All right. Oh, and it rounds up. Oh, that's nice. So it went 3 to 2. Cool. All right. So there's going to be another laser pulse. So this is where we want to take out their gun, block so we don't have to deal with the laser, and I guess we will go back to building up one mass. I don't care about one heat. So this is pretty nice because we always lose one heat and the enemy's not doing any heat. Alright, so we absorbed that. We have 2 shield left. They can't shoot at us. They're pretty wide open right now. And since we only have beam sweep, we're going to use that. The missile's being fired this turn to come next turn. Do we have a block coming? We do. Alright, I'm going to take a risk and throw that out because I'm pretty sure I can kill them next turn. Alright, so they shot the missile. So the question is, if I kill them, do they just die? And I don't have to deal with the missile. Yep, cool. Alright, so you don't have to worry about missiles in air if you've killed the enemy. Okay. Click on and add a card button to select a card to add for any piece of equipment to your ship that has slots. Yeah, okay, so I guess we're doing that. Okay, whoa. Alright, so now we're building the deck now. So we could, okay, engineering bay. Adds 1 card slot. Costs 1 mass for every existing card slot. Okay, so I'm guessing this is like a maximum hand size type thing. That's my read on it. Spend 2 energy and 3 mass to build that. I don't think that fits what we're looking for. Alright, shield amplifier. You already have to be shielded, but then you get 10 shield and it's 3 energy. Or deal 3 damage 2 times. Okay, so 4 ordnance and 1 energy. It's more expensive. Well, it's a trade-off. It's more ordnance, less energy to do a similar effect to the beam sweep, but it also does 2 fire, which is kind of nice. That's a tough pick. Very tough pick. I don't want expand capacity. Let's try this laser and see how that plays out. Oh, and now we're adding missiles, so that's going to change everything. As it gets, oh geez, morale determines the rate at which your crew command points recharge. Some choice events can affect crew morale temporarily or permanently. Okay, so I only got 2 back, so I burned through a little bit. Area clear. No further hostiles in engagement range. Deploying a recon drone for a visual sweep of the wreckage. Look behind that plating. That black box is the station's main data storage and backup unit. It's bound to have a lot of valuable research data we can sell. Who knows what they were cooking up here? Are you out of your mind? If the Solari catch wind of us stealing that, we're as good as dead. We need a new air recycling and ventilation system back at the station, don't we? That was why we went on the scavenging run in the first place. This will bring in enough credits for all that and more. Enough squabbling. We've got a limited window before more hostiles arrive. Our orders were to retrieve all valuable salvage, so let's get to work. Alright, so I guess we're doing it. The crew quickly works to retrieve the black box and fill the Magpie's cargo bay with any valuable salvage they can find. After the work is done, you set course for the rendezvous point with the Atlas. Okay, so we're supposed to look at stuff. Alright, so looks like... Okay, we have this hard point, the launch bay. So I have 1 extra card slot, and the cards from that equipment to your deck while in the combat. Ooh, so we just draw more cards? That's kind of cool. Star Flare. Deal 6 damage in 1 turn, deplete. Okay, Remove from battle once played. Okay, so right, when we use these, we can't reuse them, but they're cheap. All right, that's cool. I like that. Oh, I need to. Did I break it? No, we're good. I'm just being silly. Okay, looks like rendezvous point. Let's do it. Incoming type beam transmission from the Atlas. Magpie, this is the Atlas. We've got a situation. The Solari have flagged us for interrogation. They have most likely got all their sensors pointed at us until we meet up with their patrol ships. Any attempt to pick you up would incriminate us both. We'll be fine, but I'm afraid you'll have to return to the station on your own. Keep your burn minimal, and maintain a low profile until you're clear. Roger that, Captain. Stay safe. I've heard about Solari interrogation methods. I wouldn't want to be on the Atlas right now. There's an alternate route we can take that will keep us away from any major flight corridors and known Solari fleet positions. Should work. We have enough Delta V and remaining fuel to get us to the station. Set an alternate route to the station. That'll take us straight through deadweight controlled territory, though. A solitary scavenger ship is sure to attract some attention from those pirate scum. We'd best be on our toes. Alright, so they blocked this out. Okay, so there's two main path types in Breachway. Main path, shown as the blue line, allows only forward movement. Secondary paths, marked by thin yellow lines, permit both forward and backward movement. Moving to a node on a secondary path consumes 1 fuel. Man, so much. Alright, so we have 6 fuel. So many different things. Alright, unavailable allied. Waypoint disliked. Okay, so we're veering into sort of bad space. Captain, we've intercepted a distress call. A civilian transport is under attack by a deadweight raider. They won't last long without our intervention. If we reroute power to the thrusters for max burn, we can intercept in time, pulling the raider's focus. That's too risky. It would leave us exposed during the approach. The deadweight could attack us freely, and we'd be defenseless until combat systems are online. It's a calculated risk. Diverting their fire from their transport to us is the only way to save that ship. Our hull should hold against a barrage. Wow, okay. So, the enemy gets to go first. We get +1 morale. We wait until the weapons are fully charged, something about combat advantage, or we bail. So +1 morale means I think we're going to be getting more morale or more command points going forward. But I don't know what the penalty is. I'm not willing to risk it without knowing how good command points are. Best we stack the odds in our favor. We're in dangerous waters here. The civilian ship gives under further attacks from the pirate cruiser. Your infrared sensors register a massive heat spike as it explodes. You launch the attack on the pirate ship as soon as your weapons are charged. This will be the last ship these pirates ever prey on, so we didn't save the civilian ship, so we don't get the morale. I don't know if there's any other follow-up other than that, but... Oh geez. The enemy ship has a flak cannon. Flak inflicts random damage within a range. Let's see, 3 to 7. Attacks have a shredding value. Hull damage from a flak attack that is equal to higher than the attack's shredding value triggers a shred status effect on the target. Each shred stack raises flak's minimum damage by 1. Shred decreases by 1 if not reapplied in a turn. Okay. So... interesting. Okay, so like flak attacks get worse if you stack on, is my read. Shredding 5. Okay. So if it deals at least 5 damage, then it shreds. Okay. Oi. Alright, so we got a laser pulse coming at us right now. We have no shields. We drew no shields. Okay. Charged weapons. First turn attacks cost 2 less. I mean, lovely. But we're definitely getting smacked. I don't see any way to fix that. I mean, 50% more damage. 50% more damage on top of being 4 target lock boosts to 5/7. Now there's no way. All right, I think we just have to take the pain. I mean, we have 50. I have to remember that this is a little less punishing than like Cobalt Core, where you only have like 7 hit points. So that at least helps. Okay, so we're gonna laser pulse. We're definitely. I mean, we're getting hit with that. Either way, I'd like to disrupt this flak barrage because it's that double stack that terrifies me. Alright, and we're just shooting missiles.
Missile launched.
The question is, yeah, I guess they'll still work next turn with target lock. I'll be curious about that. Alright, anyway, one turn. So, ow. Alright, there we go. So, they're going to hit us. Nice. Okay, very cool. So, because the missiles just kind of arbitrarily hit, they actually dealt enough damage to take out the cannon. A little bit of a randomness element. So, we're not getting hit this turn. Alright, so now we're going to paired pulse. And this is where that targeting lock really comes into effect, because it shoots twice. We're going to take out their guns. Plus, they do not absorb heat well, but they get rid of it quickly, so we'll see how that plays out. Alright, so we've taken out both. I don't know that there's a point to targeting, but let's try it. Maybe it resets. No, alright, nothing. We don't need shields, so let's chuck them, and we'll just build up energy for next turn. And it doesn't look like we need this mass, but we're probably going to need more gun power, so we'll do that. Alright, so we got a heat, and that's okay. Alright, so they took damage from that, and then they're fine. But we're just gonna like rip them to pieces here, and that's a-okay with me. Okay, not as bad as I thought it could be. Ooh, a lot going on. All right, PDC Array Mark 1. I guess maybe if we don't take it, it's worth 60 credits? I have no idea. We're gonna take stuff for now. I wanna see what's out there. Okay, so we can do expand capacity again. Still don't think it's worth it. Shield amplifier we've seen. Light torpedo deals 8 damage after 2 turns. Okay, so that's like a long thing. But you have to be making at least 3 combat per turn or ordnance. Okay, and then this one, Catalyst Pulse. So all of these are pulses. If you play this first, it buffs all the pulses that come after, but it is very expensive. That's kind of cool. There's some fun options, man. Sure, we'll stay with combat just to kind of see how it plays out. Alright, the point defense cannon you salvage from the enemy goes on the aux mount, providing effective defense against enemy missiles. The auxiliary equipment operates without a crew member, but doesn't add an extra card slot in combat. Okay, so we don't draw more cards, but it adds more cards. See, now we've got 2 target locks within our defenses, and then okay, and then this point defense thing can kill a missile. Okay, interesting. Okay, so repair station. You come across an abandoned repair station. A large part of it has been stripped clean by scavengers, but upon closer inspection, one of the maintenance bays still seems to be functional. Dock and attempt to do some repairs. It may not look like it, but some of the equipment left here is actually in good working condition. Interesting that there's quotes around that. Your engineer gets to work with the assistance of the rest of the crew. You get 4 points back. Okay, so basically fixing what damage we took. That works. And we're still taking fuel burn. Sir, a gunship is getting ready to fire. They must have some stealth tech that kept them hidden from the Magpie sensors until they made their way into direct engagement range. We've gotten an incoming hail. Patch it through. There you are, little Magpie. We've been looking forward to having a word with you. This doesn't need to get messy. Hand over that data core you've got in your hold and you'll fly away unscathed with the rest of your salvage. Power down and prepare for boarding. Captain, if we power down a reactor, we're as good as dead. We're dead either way. We can't take a light cruiser on in this ship. Then we go down swinging. I'm not taking orders from a pirate. Alright, here we go. It saddens me to hear you chose violence, Captain. The data core is designed to withstand thermonuclear blasts, but don't expect us to hold back. Nice. I like that. Don't even have that as leverage. Wow. Oh, jeez. Careful, that spread shot can shoot down our missiles. Man. Okay, so in 3 turns it's going to boost damage, and I don't know, maybe that's permanent, which sounds bad. Then we got 4 damage laser pulse next turn. We got a missile. I mean, I'm assuming this is just designed to wreck us, but we'll see. Spread shot. Deals 0 to 5 damage and destroy the closest enemy missile. Okay. So we're taking 0 to 5 damage. because I got no shields. I got a bunch of morale though. Don't need resources yet. Okay, so first thing, paired pulse needs an energy. I only have 5. Alright, maybe we're just... Yeah, let's just make some resources right now, because that's going to be a big deal. Okay, let's do that. What's coming? I don't think I need mass that badly for now. I really need to get my attack power up. So we're going to do that, take the heat. Because I don't see anything that's going to play a part. Okay, so there's no... But they're saying there's no point in shooting this because the spread shot's going to just blow it out of the water. But we can use it next turn. So we'll just keep it in hand. We're not going to get rid of it. Alright, so let's... This shoots like every flipping turn. I don't know. I don't know that it does. It just assumably is. So let's try to take that out because... Let's do that. Actually... Ooh, okay, hold on. So I didn't have enough anyway to do it, but I was able to take out the spread shot completely, which means the missile has no concerns next turn. Alright, I like that. Alright, so now we're going to get... They're going to launch a missile. They're going to shoot us. Oh boy. Okay. I can't get any more resources. The Catalyst Pulse is okay. The Beam Sweep... Alright, let's... I can only do 1 attack this turn, which sucks, but it is what it is. Alright. 7 damage for 2. 7 damage for 3, but then we're not building up the resources like we'd like. Or 5. Yeah, I think we're going to shoot a missile. Alright, so missile fired. We're going to block. And that'll at least ablate that. We're going to end the turn. And we keep our targeting on. So there's a missile in the air. Alright, start of the turn, the missile hit them. Spread shot's still down. They are about to take aim. That will kill us, I assume, if we let that trigger. So let's do this. This does 5. If we do Catalyst Pulse, we'll be up to 6 with the next shot. So we're gonna Laser Pulse that. Or Catalyst Pulse that, and this does 6 damage, which is going to take out the take aim, so we don't have to worry about that. We are going to get smacked with a missile, and there's not much we can do about it. I'm going to drop the Star Flare, because I just don't think we want a missile next turn. Alright, we end turn. Alright, we hit for 5. They have not managed to take aim. The spread shot's back online. Alright, we could cycle another target lockup. We have the paired pulse, which plays really nicely with that. We are getting hit for 4. I have enough to do both of these, but only 1 shot. So let's do target lock times 2. We're at a paired pulse for 10, which is not... I'd really like to take out that spread shot, but I don't think it's going to happen. So I think we're just going to target their laser pulse. Interesting, it didn't hit them for... That's a little annoying. I would have thought that with the... That does hull damage. Oh, okay, it doesn't do hull damage because I targeted precisely. Alright, that's legit. Okay, we are getting low on that blocking power, though. Alright, we're gonna end the turn. Alright, we didn't put any missiles out. That's fine. They put a missile out. Alright. So I could spend 1 ordnance and 1 energy for that, which is cheaper than spending it on the block. And we still have power left over for a beam sweep, which I kind of like. Alright, let's try that then. So we shoot down the missile.
Enemy missile intercepted.
And then we target... Because they have such heat capacity, there's just no way. Oh, I really do hate this scatter shot, and I don't think we can take that out right now. We're just going to have to deal with it, so... Alright, we'll do that. And I have the capacity to get some more resources or whatnot. Alright. That wasn't so bad. Okay. Take aim is about to go off, though. Which is going to be really bad. The missile's going to be fired. They're going to do the spread shot. The pulse is still down. They're at 28. Okay, if I do a beam sweep, I do a lot of heat damage. It's kind of my only option at the moment. And I got nothing unless I use this. If that take aim goes off first, we're kind of in trouble. Yeah, alright. Let's get more energy going. And let's get rid of the missile because that flat cannon's online. I can't deal with it right now. Alright, that take aim. Predictive aim. Your next... Oh, jeez. Flak attack does max damage. Shoot. Wow, this thing really gets up going. Alright, so we have to take out the spread shot. I got a lot of energy, though. Alright, looks like maximum efficiency is going to be laser pulse and paired pulse. So this does... Alright, so this does 6. So we're going to take out the spread shot. And then we're going to do paired pulse and take out their laser. And they're at 4 hit points. And I can block. So I'm definitely going to do that.
We're hit.
Alright, that didn't do anything. Awesome. Yeah, so we oh, what's this? Blind. Alright, we got 2 turns till that. That is obnoxious. Okay, but I think they're dead. So let's just wreck them. Oh. I don't really feel like targeting any of their things, so I guess we'll just... Okay, I guess precision I have to pick something, so we'll pick the spread shot. Boom. Wow. Very cool. Sure, let's add a card. Let's have fun. Okay, so now race shields. If you don't have shields, add 12 points and 1 duration. Otherwise, add 6. Interesting. Ammo dump. Oh, fun. Just gain 4 ordnance? Yeah, that's huge. Especially since they carry over. That's just nice to have, I think. Could be wrong. Yeah, it is done. You somehow got out of that alive. You look around at your crew. Everyone's worn out but still alive. You exchange looks with them and they all seem to share the same thought as you. If Steam achievements would have been implemented, this certainly would have been one of them. Bravo. Alright, I like it. Good job. Home station up ahead, Captain. Preparing dockings for seizures. Once docked, the station's spin gravity kicks in. You and your crew disembark and head to your station quarters to rest while dock workers start unloading the cargo bay. A few hours later, you are called to meet the station director in her office. I've had our researchers look at the data you've brought in that black box. While heavily encrypted, RIN managed to extract some data on the research they were conducting at the station. It has to do with the anomaly that swept through our system a while ago, knocking out a large part of our electronics. The equipment aboard the research station was able to extract some sort of information from it, leading them to believe it was a message or signal of unknown origins. Their data shows multiple star systems within the Breachway network were similarly affected, which led them to trace the trajectories to a set of coordinates where they converge. Whatever it may be, this information is too dangerous to keep here. The Solari will come looking for it sooner or later. They're already moving their fleets to close the system's breachway access points. They don't want this getting out. Take the black box with you and leave. Rin will accompany you to try and further decrypt the data. Judging by the Solari response, this signal might lead to something important that could shift the balance of power. Me and Ivan are joining you as well. We want to see this to the end. We are preparing a Corvette-class gunship in the hangar for you. Posing as a mercenary will allow you to move freely within the Breachway network without raising suspicions. Once you are ready to leave, head to a random system in the Breachway network, and from there start making your way toward the signal. This should make it more difficult for the Solari to connect you to this whole thing. Godspeed, Captain. Cool. So I guess there's a new ship. Wow. Wow. Still same hit points though. better morale. Huh. Alright. How? There's like different factions and like little pips on like how good. Holy mother of God. Most map nodes are under the control of one of the game's factions. Events at these nodes are influenced by your standing with a controlling faction. Some events can present choices that modify your relation with one or more factions. And then it describes the levels. Okay, nice. Wow. Captain, our sensors detect a group of Starkin gunships on our flight path. Looks like they're trying to block any ships from entering the system through this breachway corridor. Judging by the number of civilian ships further ahead, the blockade is meant to keep people in. It looks like the gunships are in disarray. They haven't reacted to our approach. If we make a run at full burn, we can punch through with little fighting. Wow. Elite combats. I do love me elite combats in these types of games. They're so rewarding. Oh, man. Blockade. Alright, well, I promised myself I was only going to do this for about an hour, but this is Breachway, and this looks really cool. I'm going to wait for a bit. I always like to kind of see how this stuff percolates out, but if this is their starting point, this is really neat. This is just making kind of everything in my brain whirl and spin at the kind of tactical options. So we'll see how they play out. There's a lot to kind of see how the progression goes, but this is cool. I give this a huge thumbs up for anybody who likes these style of roguelite, deck building, FTL, whatever. So anyway, thanks guys for joining me on this. Again, this is Magakumo, just a guy who likes to play games and fit it in my limited spare time with everything else going on with life. So to everybody else who's got a similar situation, good luck, use your gaming time wisely, and hope to see you around next time. Thanks.